And when they tell her that I got killed, they're going to tell her I was high. She's going to be so disappointed.
Welcome and thank you for tuning in. You're listening to The Chuck and Samuel Show.
What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning back into The Chuck and Samuel Show, episode 13, the lucky number 13.
Playing a lotto tonight.
We should. And, oh, man.
Powerball's up to like $1 trillion
I thought
right
it was Friday for a second, but it's Saturday.
No, then it would be unlucky.
Maybe you're right.
Today's a lucky day. We're playing lotto. Powerball.
Okay. We might have the lucky winners. Before we get into our guest, I just want to say, your haircut, Chuck, you got a haircut.
Yeah, it's hard to see with the headphones on.
And the mullet's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed.
It was gone. It was gone before it started, to be honest.
I'm always a fan of clean cut Chuck.
Oh, you're like my mom.
Everybody likes clean cut Chuck. Let's get into it, man. We got basically
Riveting.
almost like a lifelong friend of mine, man. Half of my life I've known you for sure. Yeah. We have Corey Kilgannon, the one and only singer-songwriter, musician, touring artist, thinker, philosopher.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being here, man. Appreciate
That's
you.
That's an intro right there.
Say,
I'm telling you. Well, if you
listen,
listen, who can listen to your songs and not call you those things? And I'm saying that honestly. I listened to the new record.
Oh, cool.
Probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's a dude.
He's not lying.
You released it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And it's called
The Universal Christ.
The Universal Christ.
Yeah.
We'll just get into that for a second.
Let's
go listen to this album if you haven't heard it. Corey Kilgannon, The Universal Christ.
Is it everywhere music can be found?
It should. Well, someone messaged me and said they were having a hard time on Apple Music, but hopefully we've figured that out.
Steve
by now.
Jobs
And by
coming
we,
after
I
you.
mean somebody, yeah.
You're on YouTube's turf now, so.
Yeah.
That's right. We were just watching Audio Tree, your interview from 4 years ago.
Oh boy, dude, that was a rough weekend, man. I look back and wish I had showed up a little more centered to that.
Okay,
sure. There was
it was
a wedding
good.
The night before, and or 2 nights before. I hadn't slept much when I was there. And I had all kinds of extra help.
It was good.
It was
all kinds of extra help.
Audio Tree rules.
Fun.
Shout out to
It's
my
beautiful,
Audio Tree. Yeah.
It was a really cool experience.
Love what they do.
I'm sure it was, man. That's awesome. Just got to watch that. The lyrics, man.
Yeah.
Your lyrics have always been phenomenal to me, and most of your fans. I think that's one of the main things that people gravitate to your music for, is your lyrical content. And there's one tune, I think it might be the last tune, where you talk about, there's this line, you started off the song where I can forgive, or now I forgive my father, because now I know, I'm paraphrasing, that nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
When I'm getting chills right now. I'm like, it's such a good outlook on life, because when you grow older, you really realize that, oh my God, it doesn't matter how much I think somebody's wise or my parents know all the answers, because when you're a kid, you think that, you know.
For sure.
But everybody's living a new day, man.
Right.
Everyone's going through things for the very first time, and it really is crazy. That song was freaking awesome.
Yeah, that one's really special, and it's exactly what you said. It's like coming to be. I wrote it 2 years ago, 24, 25, and like just hitting that stage of life where you do have to realize, like, oh, I can't, like, you can't go to your parents for all of these things because they're just people, and you got to like grow up yourself and sort of acknowledge the places they fell short and forgive them, like accept it and just be like, all right, like, this is me. I can see my dad and myself. Yeah. And that's not going to change, and it's okay. And you know, just bringing it back to like the Christianity is that line of Jesus on the cross being like, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
I don't know, it just kind of struck me in a new way of like, wow, for all this time we keep passing this down, and all of us do it so unconsciously.
Right.
Yeah,
it's amazing, man.
Come to grips with it.
I mean, in my own life, you know, I used to be judgy towards people when I was younger, and you do this, or you can't call yourself this. But as I've gotten older, it's like, I've allowed myself to go places and do things that I never thought I would ever. The things I judged. And so life, you know, it's definitely a humbler if you're willing to accept it. So I didn't realize you and Chuck we'll just jump into this.
Oh,
I've only met
I think that would be a
one
great.
time.
I think that's what people really want to hear.
One time.
We met one time.
And this was, do you remember this?
Not exact. I just
Okay.
familiar with
Chuck
who you
rem-
are.
I remember
I
because
would
it
have
was
assumed we met
a train
more.
wreck.
Chuck reminded me where we all met. Oh, you're gonna love this.
And it's not you. I don't blame you.
That's
I blame
okay.
Sam.
Okay.
Because he was like, bro, I got an album release tour that I'm doing. It's gonna be sick. We're going down to Tampa, popping bottles, and I, this is like what 10 years ago, and I invited a friend to come with me,
had to have been.
and I was like hyping it up. I'm like, dude, we're gonna be VIP, like red velvet, what are those things called?
Chuck was looking for a legitimate venue.
Yeah.
Is what he's trying to say.
I would even
Sure.
I would even take a Dave and Buster's or an ale house patio. So I'm driving down. I drove like 4 hours to come see y'all.
Oh my God.
And yes, I know. Trust me. And so I'm looking, I just see just like the rough part of town. I see,
Sure.
pawn shops, quick cash, tattoo parlor. And I'm like, I think we're in the wrong.
Woods.
Yeah, I think we're in the wrong
man.
part of town. And I see like a hole in the wall, and then I see Sam's car.
There you go.
And I was like, there's no way. He must be like getting a drink ahead of the show. And we just bumped into him. And I text him. He's like, no, this is the venue.
That's where it was, man.
The ground was beyond sticky. Broken glass everywhere. Like knife fights everywhere.
There was like a 70-year-old lady from like, you could tell was like probably born and raised in that area, just like running the bar. It was
rough.
It was like a country spot that you would never ever think that a show would be inside.
So
of.
I was set up.
Chuck's mad. He's been holding a grudge for 10 years about this.
I was set up. Because I thought it was going to be sick. Music was great, obviously, with you two there. World-class music. Not the venue. And that's the first time I met you. And that was like early into a relationship with Sam. So he started off on the wrong foot. And you killed it, like always. Sam, that was a tough spot in your career. But you still did as well as you could.
I really appreciate that,
Yeah.
Chuck. We were talking about, I remember because of a photo I have of that night, I was wearing, remember the brand Dope? But it was like in a Dior logo. I remember that.
That was Christopher James.
Christopher
That was the first
James,
time I
yeah.
met
Speak of the
him, and I
devil.
Yeah.
Still kind of.
How's he doing? How's he
I haven't
doing?
spoken to him in a while, but like, I still
Send him
see
our
him.
well
I
wishes.
will,
Yeah,
Thank you.
please do.
He designed some album art for me a year or two ago
Very
because
nice.
he does a lot
Nice.
of stuff for Blue Jay.
Cool.
So I just hit
Oh,
him
I'm
up.
glad you guys didn't come through me. Thanks.
Anyways, that guy, man, what a voice
Oh
on
my gosh,
him.
yeah, I remember being
Outrageous. Yeah. That trip, Corey, we did a little like Florida run.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute ball.
It
I'll
was.
remember some of those moments for the rest of my life. I'm having a hard time with my mic stand.
Want me to hold it?
No, you're okay. It's getting a little loosey goosey.
You gotta tighten
But so, do you remember the place we played? Was it Boca Raton?
I do. It's the Funky Buddha. I think.
Funky Buddha.
Yeah.
Yeah. The brewery. They have some good drinks, but we didn't have a place to stay.
Post show. I mean,
Yeah.
we can get into the post show. If that,
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Are we able to?
I think
Yeah,
so.
we will. It was a long time ago. So we played this show. It was actually a really cool place.
Yeah, that
I-
place
did
was
did
rad.
I have friends come out? Did you have
I had
somebody I
a
knew?
friend.
Okay.
Allie, my sister's friend.
Okay, I
who you
feel
might
like
have known
somebody
from
I
Celebration and all that. but
cool. We didn't have a
we had
place to
couple
stay,
homies, Yeah.
and we're like, should we spend a couple $100 and get a hotel? Should we sleep in the car? And the promoter was like, you guys can stay with us, and we're like, cool, thanks, man, no
I think
big
it was the
deal.
bartender.
It might have been the
I think it was
bartender.
literally the
It might have
bartender.
been the bartender. And we end up going to their place, and I just remember walking in, and him and his friend were there, and they were like, "Do you guys smoke weed?" And I had just tried it for the first time, not
I
too
had never
long.
smoked.
Okay, so this is what I hope Miss Gail's not listening to
Oh,
this.
it's fine. She knows I smoke lots of bud now.
You told me that you had tried it before, but never
Maybe I
felt
had.
an effect
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
once
that's right,
before.
that's right,
Because I'm
that's
just
right.
gonna say, I don't think I would have done it if you never tried it before.
Is that peer pressure?
No, I'm just, I gotta, I'm not gonna be a bad influence on Corey. My my friend, my
church
young
leader,
friend.
Yeah. What a church leader.
I think we weren't still playing at church at this time.
I don't know.
Because I was gone to college by then.
Yeah, I don't
for
think
sure.
so.
But it hadn't been that long.
Are we talking about edibles? Are we talking
No, so
like a
we're
bong
talking
or a
about
dab or something.
dabs,
I think it
or
was
right?
dab.
CBD?
First
No,
time
no.
ever seeing dabs or anything like that.
Yeah.
And feel free to chime in at any time you want. But I remember
have much to say.
taking this hit of this dab, dude, and
Yeah.
getting so like it looked like I was like kind of looking at myself from above, and I got so paranoid that I was convinced that this guy we were staying with and his friend were going to kill us in our sleeps, bro. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I was convinced. I remember
really
I was
long or
texting
something.
friends being like, you guys got to help me out here because they, had a little bit more experience than I did. And as I'm texting, my fingers looked like they were cartoons and they were like maybe 3/4 of an inch longer than normally.
Yeah.
Wild time. Luckily,
I passed out right away.
you did
I
pass out
literally
right
took a
away.
hit
You
and-
slept
Are you
like a
guys
baby.
sure it was marijuana?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Or were you guys experimenting in other things?
No,
No,
but
it
those
had to be.
dabs contraptions, they kind of make you feel
Oh,
like
it's
you're
nuts,
doing
dude.
crack. You know
It's-
what I'm
Or
saying?
ecstasy? It sounds like what
No.
you guys are or we're going through sounds like ecstasy.
Never tried ecstasy. I couldn't tell you. I just got
Like
paranoid.
psychedelic. I mean, honestly,
It was-
with the
okay,
visuals,
psychedelic.
but
So
I just passed out. It was too
DMT.
much for me. Like, as a little
Was it
boy,
DMT?
I think it was just
The
pot,
only
dude.
reason I didn't pass out is because I swear to you, dude, these guys said something to each other, but it was almost like a unspoken thing they did,
Yeah.
and then they started laughing, and I
Yeah.
was like, "That's it. They're
gonna
plotting our
kill
killing,
us.
man." And so I barely slept that night.
They're probably just like, who are
These
that we brought
guys?
in
These
here to
bunch
smoke
of
weed?
noobs.
These musicians that are
We were
both, like-
watching like snowboarding videos, I think.
Oh, that's
or-
fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
That
but
sounds like a fun night.
I was, and then I was like, my mom's gonna find out I smoked weed, and when they tell her that I got killed, they're gonna tell her I was high. She's gonna be so disappointed.
See, I think I did get in trouble for. I think I journaled about the experience.
Oh
and my
my
mom like somehow
God.
stumbled on it and was like, "You smoked weed with that?" It's like, yeah.
I love your mom, man.
Yeah, she
I
probably
can't.
knows you got me hooked on the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh
it took-
my
It
gosh.
took
It's a
a couple
slippery
years
slope
that.
for
It
sure.
is, man.
It is.
Gateway drug.
It is a gateway. It's a lifelong addiction.
Can be.
Yep.
Luckily I've never experimented with any kind of crazy hard drugs.
No.
Don't,
I had
don't.
a one time tried mushrooms.
Okay.
And it was really good.
Sauteed?
Portobello.
Portobello. Okay. Now we're talking about the drugs I can get down
You know
with.
what I'm saying?
A little Italian.
Let me get us a slice of
talk about
za with some
Italians anymore.
shrooms. Anyways, it was good until it wasn't, and when it wasn't, it was it cured me from ever wanting to try it again.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all
But
good.
also, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
If it makes you happy and you live a nice, healthy life, I'm all for it. You don't need that stuff, man, if you don't need it.
I agree, man.
I'm happy. I'm
Thanks.
glad you kicked it.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you kicked it, bud. Having a nice, healthy Sam is like the only Sam I want. Am I right?
Yeah.
God bless.
That's the only Sam I want.
Do you?
Man, tell us about the last few years, because I could be wrong in this, and maybe it's because I'm like on the outside looking in of like the touring world these days and
Sure.
stuff, but I feel as though you were possibly like a pioneer in the whole house show circuit. You're the first person that I ever saw or heard of who was doing tours
Yeah.
with house shows. And I just thought that was the coolest idea, and what a way to just like bring people together in an intimate way. What are some of your like favorite moments? Do you have any that stick out?
Man. It's cool because there's every house show is like kind of different. Whereas like
I would
every
imagine.
venue show, I don't know, you're describing the one in Tampa, and it's like, oh, that sounds like most
A venue,
shows at
yeah.
that size.
Well,
you're always kind of scared.
In my
walking
type of music, like, math rock,
Yeah.
that kind of music I'm into, we only do house parties.
Yeah, that's in like punk and stuff. House shows
Yeah.
has been a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
But
It's weird.
the singer-songwriter house show thing, I like Derek Webb, the Noise Trade
Yeah.
guy. He was kind of pioneering that with Noise Trade. It's been around. I mean, and in some ways, like I have to imagine before the music industry, people just gathered in houses to
Totally.
sing. So for me, it feels like kind of a connection to like, all right, like how do I cut out all of this like excess? And I don't like little like in Atlanta, right? I would go and play Eddie's Attic, and I'd sell 60 tickets, and I'd get like $100 for that.
Nice
And
turnaround.
yeah, it was like, okay, well that was a lot of work. And then I did a house show like 6 months later, sold 60 tickets.
Wow.
And, you know, where's the promo there? And like you walk away with like $1,000. I mean, everybody buys merch at a house show, and so it's really win-win. Like it's better business, but just the connection, and it's as it went on, it's just like exhausting in a way, because you know the venue offers you some amount of protection or some amount of separation from the crowd, and at the house show you're just trying to hang out and be everybody's friend.
I'm sure lines
3 to 8 hours, whatever, you know.
You leave mentally spent.
Oh yeah, and then like trying to do that for 3 weeks or something, it's just not viable. I realized that fall 2019, I did a big like 3-week tour to release music, mostly house shows, and like, oh man, it just pushed me to the very limit, dude. Like total mental breakdowns. And,
I'm
like,
sure, man.
Couldn't do that, and I just realized like, why am I doing this for 3 weeks? Like I don't want to. I'd like to do it.
I have a question from a viewer. They were wondering, do you think because of COVID, are house parties going to come back as big as they used to be? That's a question from a viewer.
I hope so. I imagine they'd come back first. Would be my thought, because it's a small gathering. It's most house shows, everybody kind of knows each other somehow. It's not like, I have played somewhere it's 40 strangers that all just knew my music and bought a ticket, but you tend to somehow kind of just get a friend group in their extended friends. And whatever. So, I mean, I hope so, at least in Florida and down here where people aren't as cautious.
We're mad chill.
The reason I'm not like doing it yet is just because I don't even want to be posting like, hey, I'm going on a house show tour, because I know people in California will see that and be like, well, fuck this guy. And I'm like, you know what I mean? It's just too soon. They don't get us. Me. But yeah, we're over it.
They ain't us.
They ain't Florida men.
Yeah.
Florida's a wild place.
It is. I love it. I always love hearing people are like, down in Florida, y'all are different.
Different breed,
I love it.
man.
Dude, I got it last summer when I came here. I was starting to tell you, but like I was in Seattle. I mean, literally, I barely left the house for like months. Very COVID conscious. So we got here, and it was my buddy's wedding. It was like, all right, well, I guess we'll do some bachelor party stuff. And I'm watching on the news. It's like a friend of mine is on CNN. Her and all her friends got COVID because they went out to the beach bars.
Oh, here? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Lynch's.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and then that night I'm sitting at Pete's. Like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went out as soon as I moved back. It took me 3 months to get it, and it wasn't great, but like, I just kind of moved on.
I hate hearing like people in Canada, which is pretty much Seattle. Am I right?
Oh, I'm sure.
And they're just, I can't wait to see my friends. It's been a year. And we're over here just like surfing, kicking it poolside, just having a good time.
Weddings, parties. Fun story about the outbreak at the beach. This is what I heard from several reputable sources, is that the girl that the outbreak came from was a bartender at one of the bars, got COVID, told her boss. They said, go home for 2 weeks. She puts on a wig and like a disguise and goes back to the bar that she worked at with all of her friends because she wanted to go party.
I don't believe that.
Huge outbreak. Huge. Like, we're talking, like, there was a group. So the girls that you're talking about, the group of friends.
There were like 19 people.
Exactly. Yeah. All of them got COVID. Just in that group of friends.
Did any of them die?
I don't think any of them died, Chuck. I don't think they had any pre-existing conditions.
Thank goodness.
Right.
We need to interview the chick who put the wig and disguise on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But she needs to come on in that disguise.
I would absolutely love that.
Hey, girl, if you're watching this, we want you on the show in disguise. We'll do the whole voice cover up thing.
The pitch
okay,
yeah, the pitch.
Yeah.
So your boss won't know. And we want you on the show. We want all the details about the coronavirus setup and cover up and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
She probably has some truths.
That story was being talked about by so many different groups of friends that I have. Like, I was hearing that story from so many different people. Crazy. Yeah. Not a good way to let your reputation go out.
But at least we fought through that, because that could have been a really big black eye for Florida, because they just lifted it. And then like a week later it happened.
Right.
But we didn't let that hold us down. We fought through it. We persevered.
For sure.
Last thing I want to say about Florida men. Have you guys seen, I don't think I've mentioned this in the podcast, the older gentleman whose dog got taken into the lake by an alligator? I've mentioned it on the air. It's okay. We'll talk about it again. Bro, this guy, his little tiny dog gets bit by an alligator. The alligator goes into the back into the lake. And so I guess they had security cameras, and this old man has a cigar in his mouth. In the water, face in the water, hands in the water on the bottom, comes out with the alligator in his hands.
What?
Pries the freaking alligator's mouth open. The dog falls out, still alive, and this man never once let go of his cigar, bro.
That's Florida, dude.
What a hero.
You just get it done.
Totally. It's only movie like, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a Adam Sandler Waterboy movie, if you ask me.
walk us through a little bit, like when you sit down to write a song, man, is it do you wait for inspiration? I feel like you probably don't because you're such a songwriter.
Definitely.
But
can I jump in front of that?
absolutely.
Because I know you. He definitely knows you. But a lot of people don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, give us a little background on with your music. Is that fair to kind of catch people?
Sure. Yeah. I guess I'll save my question.
Yeah, because you're jumping up. Like, I want people to kind of get to know him a little bit.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. Born up north, right?
Yeah, I was born up in New York, and then I grew up in Jackson.
Like Bronx?
Yonkers.
Close enough.
Dad grew up in Bronx.
Same thing.
Yeah, but I don't let it claim
Derek
me.
Jeter, baby.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But I'm a Florida kid for sure.
Good. I'll take that.
behind. So I like to visit, and I was into music throughout really my whole life. I mean, I just found it young. I was playing as a
Youthquake is what kind of like got you.
Youthquake.
Sorry to bring it up, man.
Is that a reggae band?
It's
Is
a
it?
Christian.
It's a white
way.
boy Christian reggae
Is it?
band.
No,
The name of that sounds so. You guys are opening up for Revolution 311 next week.
Christafari.
Christafari, yes.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it was like a Christian Saturday Night Live
For
vibe
teens.
For teens.
Oh, okay.
I used to go, man.
The
They-
whitest kids we know.
It was big in like the late '90s, early
It
2000s.
sure
They'd have
was.
3,000 people come out every month.
Nice.
So I grew up doing that, skits and music, and
Do you
playing at
consider yourself a
church.
funny guy?
Sometimes.
Nice.
I'm not super quick all the time, but you know,
We'll get you into some
make
improv
people
with
laugh.
us.
Yeah.
We're talking about doing some improv.
See,
dude.
I feel like if it's pressured or on the spot, I just like don't have it.
Oh, I need
Same
that.
with songs. People would always be like, "Oh, like there was always this game where you had to be on stage and like make up a song." And oh, Corey can do it. He writes songs. I'm like, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
It's like it's
I
a
get it.
very like alone in
I
my
hate
room
that.
for hours process.
Right.
And nitpicking. It's not. We've got a new buddy that we were playing the other night at a little bar gig, and I was drumming, they were jamming, and he just literally made shit up for like half an hour, rapping, singing choruses, whatever.
That's crazy.
I don't get that.
I think we're just getting in the groove.
Yeah,
I don't know,
It's
man,
practice,
because like
too.
you hear these people who are like really good freestylers,
Yeah.
and
I
it's just, how do you think so
Ahead.
far ahead?
And how far ahead are you thinking?
Right.
Is it just 2 lines at a time, or like I don't know.
I think, well, this depends. There's people that are like really good at like Rubik's Cubes and they kind of see a pattern.
Yeah.
And they're like, if I start now, I can end here 20 steps from now.
okay.
And then there's other people that they just have like kind of like an algorithm every 2 lines, like you said. So yeah, if you're like, if I if I say this word, I have like 3 words to rhyme with. Okay, once I get to that 3rd word, there's gonna be another 3, and it kind of branches off, and they're just quick and clever that way. That's how I feel.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, I
it
don't
truly
have that
is.
at all.
But have you ever like sing a song that someone told you like, hey, sing that song right now, and you couldn't, but if it's on the radio and it comes on, you're like, whoa,
Oh, sure.
yeah, I've sang this whole song lyric for
You know
lyric.
the whole thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I think sometimes you kind of your brain just switches. And you're
Different
like,
kinds of
yeah,
memory.
yeah.
Yeah, that's always I have a weird. I think it's from church, but like I can sit and play for 3 hours,
Yeah.
cover songs right now with no music.
Exactly.
It's all
Right.
just in there, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like certain songs.
I
just don't
always
stick.
talk, like I'm amazed by that. Like
It's a weird thing.
like you guys, like, oh yeah, could you? Not every song in the world,
No.
but you guys could play like if you
lot
had
of
to,
songs,
a
yeah.
lot of songs back to back.
For sure.
Just
Yeah.
It's
You
amazing.
made the comment about church, and I really do think that singing and playing in church for so many years has allowed me to learn how to memorize
For sure.
lyrics and chord changes way quicker. Yeah, there's
It's like,
definitely a
it'll
rime
kick
to
your
the
ass
reason.
if
It
you mess it up,
sure
too.
will.
You guys are on the same boat
Bring
as
you backstage.
you guys are on the same boat as like
we won't
actors.
mention any names.
You guys are like actors. How like you guys could.
Sure.
They're the same way. They have kind of like a different form of way
Of
of
memory,
process. Yeah.
of process.
They
but-
read it and they're like, okay, you know, when I get to this point, we're gonna start this section and everything. And the same thing with you guys. I couldn't do
We're
it.
we're more involved than actors. Actors can be like line, and they have someone and their assistant be like read the line to them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Wouldn't that be nice?
But that's like
Well,
making an album.
that's-
I guess,
that's-
is more like that.
yeah.
It's
Confidence monitors.
an actor on a stage, you know,
Yeah.
like a theater production.
That's
You
true.
Broadway.
follow that,
Oh
you
my
gotta walk
god.
off or
Yeah,
whatever, so,
dude.
Those are real actors.
That
Stage-
office scene when Andy is in that play, remember, and his phone goes off.
Oh, yeah.
No, what a terribly cringy moment, man.
Nice.
So yeah, so you were born in New York,
Yeah,
raised
man.
in Jacksonville, and we met through church and
Mm-hmm.
doing the whole leading worship thing. And man, how has life has changed since we met, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What year was it?
Yeah, I may have been in-
2006.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was probably still in late middle school or high school, 2008 maybe.
Yeah, latest 2008. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild. And you were there. I think you were there a lot longer than I was.
Oh yeah, I mean we started going there when I was 5 or 6
Crazy.
to that spot.
Wow, man. Well, I'm glad we met, Corey.
me
I
too,
I
dude.
freaking love you,
Yeah,
man.
it's been a funny,
It has.
funny
It
trajectory.
has.
It's
There's
amazing
always those
seeing
people
the
you
energy.
know.
The energy in the room right now is just crazy.
It's electric.
It is.
Undeniable.
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
What else do you want to know, Chuck, about his
Oh, that's all on him.
background?
If I don't know what I don't know, I don't know what I want.
Here's what I'd like to know is when did you take the step to be a full, when was it like, because obviously you've always been serious about your music, but when were you like, I'm going to take this full time, I'm going to get a van, I'm going to basically live in it while I'm on the road, and this is what I'm going to do? And was there anything in life that kind of pushed you to that? Or was that just kind of
Yeah.
always the goal?
Totally. I mean, so like I started making EPs and records in high
Early,
school and
yeah.
stuff, and I would say that wasn't serious. I would say in my mind, even though there's probably the like, oh, this could be fun. Like, I don't think I really thought of it as like this is what I want to do. I don't know. It was just a thing to do,
Right.
Because it was available to me, which is amazing. That just I had a buddy be like, let's record some shit and see what it sounds like.
Love it.
But then really college, like it comes back to the songwriting process question. I woke up and wrote a song called The Hollow.
Great
That
tune.
like, thank you. It was the first one that kind of, or maybe not, maybe it was the first one I was conscious of, just feeling like, whoa, I just like kind of tapped into something. Like it wasn't, that's not, I still wrote it and it's my, process and words and skills, but like it just, I don't know, it was like magic, it's like just 2 hours of just hammering it out and then like not feeling like it was labored over. Like it just changed the way I related to writing. I mean, you asked if I'm always kind of writing and taking notes, and I 4 different little like licks with one, like the God is this universe song I forgive my father for I had that line for 6 months, and then
Wow.
one morning, boom, there's the song.
It was time to-
There's always a couple of those, but I'm not constantly working on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're just sort of floating. Hopefully somewhere on a page. I'm so unorganized, but
Until it's time
mostly
to
just in the head.
flesh it out, huh?
Yeah, it's a mess. But so just like writing that first song and being in college, and there was like trauma that pushed it to just I don't know. I just didn't like the college system. I didn't feel like I fit there, and I was like, screw this. I want to just drop out and try to do it.
Right. You were at Belmont,
yeah,
was it? Yeah.
yeah.
I remember you were up in Nashville driving those carts, bro. I bet you had calves for days.
I just went back to Nashville recently and like just drove around having memories, and I was driving through downtown like, oh my God, I can't believe that was my job. Like it was a crazy job downtown. I was a rickshaw driver.
Oh,
a
nice.
Bike taxi
Nice.
for a couple months.
Those are some gnarly hills, long
oh my
hills
God,
too.
Yeah. Have you been to the bars out there downtown?
I'm downtown. Yeah.
Okay. Printer's Alley is like at the top of the hill, and that's
Okay.
like the gnarly like strip club and karaoke bar, and like I saw some crazy things just outside the
I'm
bar.
sure.
And we'd park there because people would come out of there and want to go down to Broadway, and it was all downhill. So that was like the goal.
Yeah.
But I do remember having to like, you could, once you got going uphill, you could keep it moving. But if you got at a red light and with people, like bigger people in the back, I had to ask some people to get out once. Like, I just couldn't get it moving. The bike weighs like 150 pounds on its own. You know, it's like
what
6,
did they
7,
say, dude?
They were chill. They were, and it was on. I think honestly, it was they got it. I was literally like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, hey, if you just get out, I can get to level ground, and then we're good. Like,
Right,
it's not,
right.
It's really not you. It's just like it can't be done.
Is there any gears on those bikes? Or
Gears, yeah. But,
okay.
and some of them would have electric motors. But that was
Nice.
kind of like a pay your dues thing. So I think I only got to use one of
dang.
those like once. But the whole place, like, it was in this like gated area. The owner was always like gas station, coffee, and a cigarette, and like he gave you no instructions on what to charge. It was completely up to you. And it was honor system, like counting your money down and leaving it in the safe for him in this like warehouse. And I mean, yeah, I had to be like one of the only, if not the only, honest.
Yeah.
People.
Well, yeah, if he's
the
not-
client, the other workers were just like all kinds of characters. Like,
If you could charge what you wanted, of course people are
there
going to
was
take
literally
advantage
no
of that.
incentive to be honest about it.
Yeah.
It was insane. So
That's wild.
weird job. It
What
didn't
a
last for. They're not around anymore. It's not a good spot for that. But
what a great
wrote a couple
now they
songs
got,
out of that. You know, I
Cool.
mean, it's just the songs are everywhere. They're hiding in plain sight, and you
It's
just kinda
amazing.
live and try to pay attention and jot some things
Do you
down.
think over the years as a songwriter, like your third eye has opened up, where you're able to like pick out topics in everyday life easier?
Sure. I mean, through songwriting, and I mean, because songwriting is really a form of meditation or spirituality for me. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but like, it's getting to know yourself, and it's deepening your understanding. So like, sometimes directly, and sometimes in silly songs that don't seem to, but just finding like, how do I talk about something that happened specifically to me, and it doesn't have to. There's so many songs where like the lyrics are hyper specific, but you listen to it and somehow you still feel like it's about you. Like
Isn't
Taylor
that
Swift
wild?
does that all the time. She has this one, All Too Well, is one of my favorite songs ever, and it's like you've got that old red scarf in your drawer, and I'm like, I don't know why, but that just hits me. Like I have a scarf in my drawer, and it just connects people to like the more universal things.
It's amazing, man.
It's the power of it.
The power of art. It is
Yeah.
crazy how you can have an intention with what you write down, and everyone who hears it has a different
They
interpretation.
hear it totally different.
It's
yeah,
amazing.
And that's I just let go of like I don't necessarily have a message. I'm trying. There are themes, but like it's it's whatever it needs to be for
Right
other
on.
people.
Cool, man. And what have you been doing to like keep busy
Sure.
to stay away from the nonsense, man? I'm sure
getting
songwriting
off-
is
No, I haven't written a lot. I'm kind of backed up. I have like
Okay.
a ton of stuff I'm working on.
Good for
and
you.
I'm not writing a lot, so I started writing poetry and stuff just to keep sharp. But like, I really don't feel like I have much to say lately. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to add to this noise. I'm still releasing things in the shadows. I'm not on social media. I got this flip phone a year ago.
Oh, on
And
a
that's
burner
been,
phone.
That's what people call it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just don't need it, man.
T9,
Social media
baby.
too. Like, I don't miss it now.
How do you feel about having the phone?
I love it.
Good.
It's been a huge. Like, I honestly, it's almost been a year, and I was like, oh, I'll come back to the iPhone, and I think I've decided to just
Good.
stay
Wow.
I'm proud of
and
you.
get an iPad. I mean, it's a hard transition, but like,
yeah.
people are like, oh, how are you gonna be a musician without social media?
Musicians
So
are really
far, it's
stuck
been
up
fine.
about stuff like that.
I don't really follow any of my
Yeah.
favorite artists on Instagram.
Yeah, same.
You know,
They don't
it's
really
like,
post
whatever.
anything
It's
anyways.
fine. It's fine.
Right.
Like, I got to run to work. Like, I picked up a part-time job. Just anything to be like more grounded. And I'm hopeful that the next season of life will allow me to just drive around and play in people's living rooms again. But right now,
Right.
there's plenty of like non-grounding for people. They don't need me to come sing them a song to like wake them up. Like, it's happening. You know what I mean? It's happening. in a
Yeah,
big
totally.
way.
I
So-
think, but I will say, I think people are looking forward to not to wake them up, but to give them an escape.
Yeah, to
from it
dance,
all.
dude, to sing. That's literally, we
Absolutely,
played
yeah.
Blue Jay the other night, And I played all my new stuff from the Universal Christ, all these sad and heavy God,
Yeah.
theological, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was hating it. Honestly, the honest answer is every time I've been on stage in the last couple of months, I've kind of hated it. And I'm trying to figure that out. And then the last song we played was Hot Chocolate, You Sexy Thing. Everybody's dancing and I'm playing bass. And I'm like, this is what we need right now. We don't need the dirges and we don't need the deep thinking. Everybody's thinking a lot, you know, and you can trust that.
Sunday fun day, man.
It's time to dance. Honestly.
Exactly.
It's time to just like celebrate. And so I'm ready for that, but it's also not naively celebrate.
Right,
it's
right.
Like acknowledge what happened and
totally,
you know, lead people to that place because a lot of people aren't ready to dance. They're just
right.
Oh, what do I do? But
yeah,
it's almost time. In Florida, it's been time. We've been celebrating, but I think the whole world's just behind us. You know,
Time to mourn and a time to dance, man. Yeah,
and we need that.
I agree with that.
That's why Godzilla vs Kong's blowing up right now.
Totally, dude.
People want that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny, but it's true. It's
It
like,
is.
Yeah, that's the movie that's gonna save the Hollywood and all that stuff. Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I watched Rampage last year. It
Yeah.
was the same thing. I just
Same thing
I
for you.
needed like a dumb superhero movie to just like
Just get
just
lost
like,
in it.
it's
Yeah,
fine,
That's
you know?
that's really interesting. Y'all said that. I went to a movie 2 nights ago and I went and saw The Courier.
yeah. That's a bummer.
It's a decent movie. The saving grace is that it's a true story.
Okay.
But it was like that because I kind of wanted to go see Godzilla versus Kong. But I'm sitting here watching a movie that's set in like the 40s. That's about the Russian-Cuban Missile Crisis.
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
And I'm like, isn't this what I just watched on the news? You know, like I need something new and refreshing. But that's definitely true, man.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It is a time to dance. It wasn't a bad movie. It was interesting. Yeah. Two men, literally two men, a Russian and an Englishman, saved basically the world.
Wow.
Because they decided to be secret agents on their own.
Wow.
And the Russian was feeding all this information through the businessmen. And they freaking saved the world.
Well,
man.
2 nights ago, I watched a movie about a giant lizard and a giant monkey saving the world. So,
did y'all see that movie? Was it Cloverfield? I got a headache in Cloverfield. Corey, you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I didn't see it.
First person the whole time, bro.
Oh,
it's
boy.
like someone's. So when they're running, all you're seeing is their feet in the ground.
Yeah.
I knew people that got nauseous. I knew people that got dizzy, but I for sure it gave me a headache.
Yikes.
I'm not into monster movies that much.
that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
What can I say?
It's just something like it's
Totally.
like everybody's got to find something, and it's a fine line between just like tuning out and like shutting down and watching something horrible.
Right.
I guess there's a time for that, but like to consume it in a way that's like integrated into your life and uplifting.
Right.
It's just a challenge, and it's
I have a quick question.
Yeah, man.
We're coming up on the end, so I want to
Yeah.
start diving into like some quick.
cool. That's great.
When are you gonna play Coachella and Bonnaroo?
Bonjour.
I heard Pine Grove's playing Bonnaroo. That's cool. I don't know. That's back to the hating being on stage. Like 2019, right before this, I got to open for Johnny Swim. I've heard of them. It's
Never heard of
interesting.
them.
Never heard of those guys.
I love Johnny Swim. Yeah.
They're
it's
like
cool.
a ska band, right?
Ska.
Yeah.
Loosely Christian ska.
My favorite type. So they probably play with Real Big Fish and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But I played the biggest show of my life. It was a theater, 1,800 people. And as I'm walking off the stage, I literally said out loud, I hated that, and surprised myself. I was like, what was wrong? And I don't know. I've just like not felt the desire to do that right now. And it may come back. Like I've also been writing more upbeat songs and more.
I was going to
material
ask you
for
about that. Are you coming out with some reimagined?
Yeah, like
versions of your
I'm
songs?
falling back in love with the process.
Yes.
And it's just like, okay, I made music for like 5 years to like process grief and to like figure out all these things I believe. That feels kind of settled, and now I'm like, I just want to make stuff that's fun.
Let's
and
put
like
a
some
VG
emo
beat
stuff and some like
behind your music.
Yeah.
So we
Get
made.
it. No, I was just saying we just need to put a Vici beat behind
a
your.
Vici beat.
Yeah.
You have a tune on the new record the melody, I literally told Chuck, I was like, dude,
remix it.
I can literally hear this song.
those are
The Penny and Sparrow Boys. Have you heard of them?
I have
toured
heard.
with
I
them a
haven't
bunch.
seen
They're
them, yeah.
dear friends of mine. Just released their whole record again, and they had somebody remix every single
Really?
one, and it's genius.
That's
I mean, it's
amazing.
cool.
That's what I was saying. Like, do a reimagine one.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'm totally open.
Same.
And that's do re-recording songs too. Like,
Yeah.
not to bring Taylor Swift up again, but God, like I think she's actually re-recording her whole catalog, right? Because she lost
she
the
lost the
publishing or
part,
whatever.
the rights. Yeah,
Oh, my dude.
Just the idea that like we record a song once and that doesn't have to be the end. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can re-record
It's a whole
it
artist
10
thing,
different
yeah.
times and like try a bunch of versions.
The
I think
only
that's
end
so
you have is
freeing.
whenever you release it.
Yeah,
But,
but then you can do it
that's-
again.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no real end to it. It's only when
Exactly.
you release it, and then there's a lot of people, directors do director's cuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's it's always going on. There's no like fine line of what's
Yeah.
the final thing.
One of Chuck's favorite artists does that often. John Bellion. He
he
doesn't play the songs the same way twice.
No, he
does
doesn't.
Yeah,
Like
that's
one,
cool.
yeah, like he did, like his one big album. He did like the standard first tour, which is kind of like one for one of the studio song, and then the second one was like a reimagined one where he added some tribal beats on it, or he kind of
Sure.
did free. And then the third one, he had like an orchestra behind it, and he was telling them what to do and everything. And there's good and things, Sometimes
Sure.
I just want to hear like the studio one.
Right.
But no, he's one of those guys where I
Yeah.
think the final result is never what you think it is. It's always this organic thing. And then he gave all the songs. I heard he did like 9 songs on Justin Bieber's album, the new one.
sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did Holy, and then
Holy
yeah.
sounds like a
Yeah.
Bellion song.
Did
Yeah.
you hear the newest Justin Bieber song that just came out where he's like in the middle of like woods and there's like these big red LED boxes? That sounds like a straight up worship song.
I believe
I
it.
know- I
He's
know
pretty
worship
much,
music.
Like, fully
I know worship
church
music.
boy, right? He's
Yeah, Casting Crowns. You're right.
Yeah.
So it sounds just like that. He uses, about this. It's about like a 20-minute song, standard
Wow.
Christian length, and he uses the same 2 lines of lyrics for like 20 minutes.
Oh boy,
It's wild. I was like, this is a worship song.
that's weird. I
So
haven't seen that.
yeah, get ready, get some popcorn, maybe a coffee, because it's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
Those worship songs.
Tune into that.
Dude? Yeah.
Yeah.
Repetitive worship music.
You
Dude,
know
so
all
I'm
about
gonna
it.
brag on you for a second. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
like something. I didn't look at your YouTube numbers, but you got like some kind of like what is 175,000 monthly?
No,
listeners?
Spotify. Not
Spotify.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's what I mean. I
Spotify's
didn't
been
look on YouTube.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The radios and the algorithms and stuff. I kind of
It's-
just snuck in there. Like I've done.
You're a
people
viral
ask me
sensation.
all the time. Well, no, people ask me like, how did you get on them and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was because you got added to a bunch of playlists in the beginning. Is that what got
I
the
just
traction
kinda,
going?
like
Oh, yeah.
2016 is when that started. So now I feel like it's just gotten really saturated. You can submit yourself to them.
Right.
They must just be getting a million submissions.
I'm sure
And,
you-
like, I just got in early.
The
and got
right time.
Really
If-
lucky with that.
A genuine brag from me, because I don't really know you, so this is genuine. Coming into your music just now, no one ever shared your music with
Sure.
me. I don't know why. It's almost like you guys kind of blacklist me from
Yeah.
like listening to you.
Yeah,
But-
the higher ups.
Yeah.
At Corey Kilgannon Music.
Big tech,
Specifically do
big
that.
tech.
Don't listen to him.
But
Stop. What are you doing?
and like being completely genuine, your music does have a very high production value sound
Oh,
to it.
thanks,
Yes.
man.
So when he was playing me some of your stuff that I haven't heard of, it sound, and you could take it however you want. It's almost like if they played a Vance Joy song and a Lord Hearn song and put yours right in the middle on like Spotify, it was seamless. Like
should
yeah,
fit. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was just like it was. You had background music and,
Yeah.
and all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, that's one thing I always tell people when you're trying to create something. I don't like to feel local, because then it kind of, I want it to be kind of placed somewhere and it fits in and it just sounds like it
Yeah.
could be for anywhere. And yours does have that. Yours
man.
does sounds like it has like a ton of production value and
Yeah.
it could be mixed in with anybody.
Sure.
So I loved it. I thought your stuff was
I
like
appreciate that,
super
too.
high end.
It's funny you say that too, but then like there's some songs, like some albums I'll spend 2 years on and tens of thousands of dollars.
And it's junk.
the number one song that's like 12 million plays, I recorded with Jacob Hudson in half an hour.
Yeah.
One
Jacob
pass.
Hudson, that's awesome.
Literally, I remember like playing the piano and him being like, "You want to do that again?" I was like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
Whatever.
Macaroni song.
30 minutes, dude. I think we recorded the whole song in an hour. And
Yeah.
like to me, it doesn't.
That's how it is.
It's
I-
just, yeah.
There's might be
It's
something
humbling.
genuine. What was it? Teddy Swim. right?
Yeah, Teddy
The
Swims.
big fat boy with the golden voice. He does these covers and he shoots them in like his closet, and they get ton. And then he must have blew up, and they gave him a production like a huge budget, and he goes and reshoots them, and they get like that much.
It loses
he gets
it. Yeah,
because he did Shania Twain, "You're the One."
Okay.
And he did it initially kind of himself, and it has like 60 million views.
Yeah.
They gave him money, and he's walking around Georgia, and
Really
it's all
doing
production. And it got like
people don't
2.
want to see that. That's what I really. It comes down to like that's fine. Use the fancy mic, do whatever, but like, it's all about the process, and not this process, but like this process.
Yeah.
Like, what am I bringing to the performance? And like, it's a constant learning lesson because it's fun to use nice gear.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun to get everybody behind it, but like,
Yeah.
what connects with people is just like authenticity.
Because then it has that
is,
contrast of like what's genuine and then what had
Yes.
some production,
Yes.
budgets behind it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like when there's like certain like people that make like funny videos and they kind of do themselves. Funny, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then when they get like a crew behind it, I'm like, it just feels a little.
Just,
too,
I mean, imagine the process, the pressure of like, okay, now I'm trying to be funny, and there's 20 people in the room, and they're filming
Right.
me, and it's just you're not in that like easy flow anymore. So,
That's why we're always gonna have zero crew here.
yeah.
No.
Zero.
Fancy lights though, man. It's fancier than I
We don't need a crew.
We
Look
don't-
around us.
We don't need anybody.
DIY, baby.
Even
I'm
just podcasting itself lends it. Like, people are in an era of like, you can only watch something for 10 seconds on Instagram. People will listen to a conversation for an hour. It's so bizarre.
I'm one of those people.
We
man.
crave
Yeah.
like more long format humanity.
It's almost
tired
like
of the little blips,
cyclical almost,
Yeah.
isn't it? How we became like a microwave generation, but there are some things that I'm like, I want to hear the full format.
Yeah, I
I
wanna
want to hear it
I
all.
want to dig deep.
Yeah, totally. Well, man, I guess you got some people who are jonesing for you to get back on the road, because that is a lot of freaking fans, my friend.
The plays never correlate, dude. That's what's funny. I mean, I have like 6,000 monthly listeners in LA and sell 17 tickets. It's funny how Spotify
I hate that.
is such
Weird.
a machine.
Yeah.
And that's where you need like a label or somebody who's good at integrating that, and where I've just consistently been screwed over and shot myself in the foot, probably
So
both. But
there's no way to Spotify
reach
doesn't
out.
know, you can't reach out to those
your
listeners.
shows go on there now, which is
Still
which you
could
would want
easily
that
be
to
missed.
Enough, but
Could easily
I
be
mean,
missed still.
Those are real numbers. I had like 6,000 monthly listeners in LA last fall
Wow.
when we toured, and we sold 17 tickets at the Hotel Cafe.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
But it's fine.
That's how it is.
It just is what it is. There's a lot of people to go see, especially in LA. So I try to just not take it personally.
Hotel Cafe, huh?
Yeah, that's like
it's-
the Eddies of LA. It's like
It's
little
world renowned.
cool room.
Yeah,
John
That's
Mayer
the-
used to like show up.
Yeah,
and play there.
totally.
That's what the
Totally.
Eagles sang about.
Is that right?
Yeah, that one song.
Hotel California. is that the place that used to have like the jazz jam on Sunday
I think
nights?
so.
When like
Yeah.
Bieber would show up and Stevie Wonder and all
that makes sense.
Wow.
Have you
dude.
been to Jazz Jam out here? At
Blue Jay?
there's a
I
jazz
haven't
jam.
yet, but
It's sick,
I
dude.
went.
I saw Darren there.
I went
once.
about a year and a half ago, right before
It's
COVID.
Love
sick,
Darren.
man.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
was.
cool.
All those boys go out there.
Yeah,
It's
they-
every 2
they-
weeks, I think.
Every week.
Every week.
Tuesday.
Right on.
They're shredders, man.
Oh, Jazz Jam.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got they got
The
3
Funk
on
Jam
Mondays.
is Mondays. Yeah. I haven't been to that one.
Good spot, man. I'm
Blue Jay, man.
I'm telling Patrick Bass he needs to. I think he's well. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but
No,
he needs to
don't.
play a show there.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep his name out of my mouth
Why?
because I got attacked last time. I've been getting attacked a lot on this show. Sorry that
that
you have to
right?
hear this.
Who attacked you? I did.
You attacked me because
Yeah.
of something I
Sorry,
said.
Corey's family. You
yeah.
can watch us do this.
You
out.
attacked me this week because of something. Patrick and his attacked me earlier in the early stages of this podcast. Even though it was completely friendly, but yeah, man, I'm tired of getting
Yeah.
it.
If you don't have anything nice to say, maybe it's just best not to say anything at all, Chuck.
Whatever, guys.
What a melodramatic drama queen.
I'm not getting
you
into
are.
this anymore. Sorry to do this in front of you.
It's okay. I appreciate
On that note, Sam, you want to ask any final
Yeah,
questions?
I want to know what's next for you before
Yeah,
we
yeah,
head
yeah.
out. I want to
Yeah.
obviously, and I do want to. I mean, we don't have much time, but I'm very intrigued at how this. You walked off stage and you said I hated that.
Yeah.
And I know you probably don't have the answer now, but when you do get the answer, I would love to hear what got the love back, because that's an interesting place I would imagine to
Yeah.
be in, because something that was your passion for so long. But I'm sure there's a lot of like, you've been doing it for so long, so it tends to turn into work.
For sure.
Jadedness. Anything has a potential to become like that. But what's next? What's next? Musically, you said something about like maybe I've worked out all the things I wanted to say, and the soul searching. Now it's time to dance.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I mean, I'll always be a lyricist. That's probably not going to change. Like that's what I care the most about. I'm working on a 20-song love breakup record about thing we were talking about from that whole chapter of life. So that one I'm really excited about. But like when I got literally the first week I got back here, I wrote I hesitate to call it punk because I didn't listen to punk growing up, but I was into all the emo stuff. Like I literally actually remember showing you a song that I started playing again recently in the front row of church before practice. I showed you this song and you said, "Oh, it's kind of like Panic at the Disco vibes." I still remember that.
Well, that's definitely punk.
Wow.
And I'm just like, seeing emo, like
Good
I always
Charlotte.
loved that stuff and I never let myself make it.
Dang.
And so I'm feeling like, why don't I do that? Like that's my roots. That's what I actually loved first was that kind of music, the like scene sad boy stuff. So I wrote some of that.
Please bring that sad boy. I didn't know that term until a few years ago, and I was like, "Whoa, that's what I like."
Good. Emotional.
Yeah,
whatever.
sad.
Like
It's called sad boy pop punk or whatever.
Yeah,
so that's the best type of music, if you ask me.
It's very Florida too. It's like deep.
It
in
is
the
very
veins
Florida,
for some
and
reason.
California, which I guess you have some roots there.
Beachy.
I don't know,
but I mean, right now I'm pretty quiet. I'm just working on records and working and like taking it slow. That's and out. You're right. It will take years to understand, but I think like, just as an artist, you hit these different stages of like, oh, I've got it all figured out. And like when I was in my early 20s, I was touring and doing all this shit, and I'm like, oh, I've got it. Like I'm a great artist and whatever. And then you hit these walls where like your motivations get exposed and you get let down or whatever, and it just like it's brutal. Like it's all you have so much identity in it, and you try to take that identity out, but like. It's who it's just my name on it. It's I've always wanted to like. I wish there was something to hide behind, but I feel like it's too late. It's like it's just a thing that I do, and so I don't know. I think I'm just enjoying a season of like regrouping and redefining what it means to do this, and so that way, it works out timing wise that like the world's not begging for it. I don't have to be out touring right now.
Totally.
I can't be out touring, so. I don't know, just regrouping, man, taking it slow, and
good, man.
In a year or in 6 months or whatever, we'll maybe get back at it. I don't know.
I know that everyone is excited to see the rest of the journey. I know I am, and just the last thing I'll say is, being a single fella, I've brought my fair share of dates to Corey Kilgannon shows.
Is that right?
What a dog!
Probably three or four, and all of them. One of them still comes to as many shows as she possibly can.
Is that right?
But they're all fans.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, to this day.
Good.
But
date spot.
Yeah. Date
your
music.
shows are a freaking date spot, dude.
That made me think of this. My mom brought a date to a show.
Did she?
The first date, had dinner below, came upstairs, and that night we were just on one doing weird stuff. And I came out for the encore in a cat onesie and sang this song about our cat like eating grass and shitting everywhere. It's this absurd song, and she didn't get a call back from him.
Oh
so
my god!
Hopefully my shows become less date friendly, more just weird and absurd. Because I don't know. I feel like in certain ways I've been. Like I haven't let it all out, you know.
Let's bring the energy out.
I've always kind of been mellow and I don't want to say hiding it because I've been out doing it, but it's like I'm just seeing all these ways that I didn't fully do the weirdest, most beautiful, absurd thing that I could have done if I wanted to really just go for it. So
more aspects to you, the person,
big time,
that you want to show. I
think so.
Awesome.
But I also don't want anybody to look at me. So it's a weird paradox.
Yeah, that's a balance you have to learn to walk, man.
Maybe just fear, of really letting the authentic stuff out and being let down by that.
Totally.
That's where success lies, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
being
thanks for having me,
exposed. Yeah,
guys. I really
absolutely, dude.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you
I
so
do gotta
much
go,
for coming. Yeah, you gotta
Gotta
go
go serve coffee to the people.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come see you over there
Please,
one day
man.
soon.
We got cheap shots, dude. $3 shots.
Come on.
Oh,
It's a good
tell us
spot.
your specials.
Surf and paddle. I work at the
Surf and
surf shop.
paddle.
in
Yeah, give them a
Neptune
shout
Beach.
out. And
Yeah, it's a
what kind of
great
specials
spot,
can we
man.
come and get?
We have $3 shots. We have the beer and wine, so it's not like
Nice.
it's not for your full tequila, but I pour a big one,
Oh,
especially for
okay.
friends.
Hey, come see this cat if you want a big, tall boy.
Big, tall.
That's
shots,
right.
Coffee cocktails.
That's
Ooh,
right.
coffee cocktails.
Surf lessons.
Ooh.
Surf lessons
And drinking and surf lessons?
Same time.
Heck yeah, same time.
Paddle you out there with your little.
Bro,
koozie.
that'd be sick. You get some shooters. Is that what you call it? Or flights. Let's get some flights on the board. Let's roll out.
That'd be
A
insane.
champagne shot. We got to get him out of here, man. One more time, go to all your streaming services. Check out Corey Kilgannon. His new record came out yesterday, didn't
It
it?
did.
Yeah.
Just in time
And
for
Good
Easter.
stuff.
it is
Good,
phenomenal.
yeah, perfect. Perfect Easter music.
Any
That was
shows
the goal. Yeah.
coming up in Jax? You have one this week,
we're
right?
gonna play every Wednesday at Blue Jay. now.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Nice.
I love it. Every
Residency.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Blue Jay, Listening Room, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Go check it out. Corey Kilgannon, love you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. We
What
had
an
a great
awesome
time,
guy. Catch
man.
up soon.
We absolutely will, brother.
Thank
All right,
y'all.
man. We'll see you next time, y'all. Peace out.